Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the One Pot Wonder. We are in class 3 of session 7. When I say 7, that means we've done 7 weeks, 6 weeks intervals of classes. So we've been able to reach quite a few people in our community and our surrounding area within the MD. And we're very proud to be here again. And so just before we get started, a great big thank you to everyone for their support and volunteers as well as community agencies. We're very blessed to have everybody pulled together during difficult times. So thank you very much for all your help. And so today we're building a shepherd's pie. It's a very, very simple, easy recipe. And it doesn't take a huge amount of time because you're pre-cooking your meat and your potatoes, and then you're just building the shepherd's pie and bake it in the oven for a bit. So we're going to get started, and so we're going to peel our potatoes and put them on to boil because we're going to mash those before we build our shepherd's pie. And then we're also going to cook our ground pork or beef. And we're going to add our onions and our garlic to that cooking process. And so we're going to just do a little bit of prep and we'll meet you at the stove. So once you have your potatoes peeled, it's a great idea if you just cut these potatoes into smaller pieces because then it will boil easier. And probably about this size is plenty. So when you put your potatoes into your water, it's a good idea to add some salt. And that's to help take a bit of the starch out, as well as I think it really gives it a bit of an extra flavor and brings it out. So once you have your potatoes done, get those on to boil and add your salt. And then we're gonna cut up some onions, so just take off your skin and cut both ends. And an easy way to do it is to I would just do it in slices, and then it's easier to cut. So if you just make kind of a row and then go the other way as well. And then you can turn it sideways and then just cut into the pieces. So once this is all, the onions are cut up, we're going to add that to your meat. And then we're going to put the meat into your frying pan or your, what do you call this? Kind of a skillet, I guess, or what would you call that, Kim?
Frying pan or skillet.
Yeah. So whatever you have to use. And then you're going to cook your hamburger. I'm just going to cut these up just a touch more. So you'll put your raw hamburger in, your onions, and your garlic. And so with the garlic, I kind of got a lot on this, there you go. But when you pull your garlic apart, you're going to pull it individually apart, then it's, I'm trying to get a big piece here. So you're going to take this skin off, and the easiest way that I find is if you just put it on your table and then just press on it, it will open it right up. And then you can just take your skin off. And then you're just going to cut that into minced sized pieces, and that also is going to go into your meat. For your 1 pound, if you have 1 pound of hamburger, I would say 2 cloves is enough, unless you really like a real garlicky flavor. But I think 2 would be plenty for 1 pound. Yeah, so we're gonna put all this together, and we're gonna be at the stove shortly, and we'll see you there. Okay, so in your bags you should have some gravy, some brown gravy mix, and it requires 1 cup of water, warm water or hot water, with your 1 package of your gravy mix. So to start, 2 seconds, I'm just going to take a little bit of this water because I'm only going to use 1 for right now. So I have the 1 cup of water, and we're just gonna put the package of brown gravy in it and give it a stir. If you don't have a whisk, you can just use a fork. And we're just gonna mix this up, and then we're gonna put it in on top of our gravy. So if by chance when you're making your shepherd's pie and you don't have a brown gravy mix, I'm kind of cheating today, you could use like a onion soup mix, you could use cream of mushroom soup. You use a lot of cream of mushroom soup when you're cooking. And we're just gonna, you could just do a variation of anything really, of a soup mixture. Or you could just take the drippings from your hamburger and you can add a little bit of bouillon, beef bouillon, and you could add a little bit of cornstarch to kind of give it that thickener, like a gravy. So we're just gonna let this simmer, and we're gonna mash our potatoes while this is kind of thickening up a bit. So, mashed potatoes, you will have some milk, and you should have some butter in your bag. And I just need to go here for a second to get the masher for the potato. And I'm not sure how well I'm gonna be able to do this. I may have to get Kim to do this. So I'm gonna let Kim mash this because I have a bummed hand. And so Kim had mentioned earlier when we were boiling the potatoes that she likes to put some garlic, actual garlic cloves right in the water. And it just gives it an additional flavor of a little bit of garlic flavor if you like that. And if when you're done mashing your potatoes, you can put your butter in and a little bit of milk. I'm just going to put the whole thing in there. And you can add your salt and pepper. You can add your salt and pepper to your meat as well. It's just kind of flavoring to taste. A little bit of this. And you don't want your potatoes to be too soupy, just because you're gonna bake this as well. So you're gonna have a lot of other liquid in your pan when you put this in the oven. So I would be putting your element, your stove, you can put it at about 375 to 400. And you're just gonna cook it enough to heat up your vegetables. Your vegetables are not pre-cooked because they're already cooked. You just need to heat them up. So they'll be heated up. We'll put them in on the meat cold, and then on top of your meat, and then we're gonna put our potatoes on top of those vegetables. Now you can add like shredded cheese on top if you like. You can add cornflakes on top. There's such a variation of different ways that you can build it. Now you can see, can you zoom in there a little? So you can see how this has started to thicken into a nice gravy. And so we're gonna put this into just kind of even it out in your pan. Now this pan that we're using, I know we've talked about this before, but I can't encourage you enough. If you can pick one of these up, you'll never want to cook in anything else. It's such a versatile pot. You can use it on top of your stove. You can make soups, casseroles. You can put it in your oven. It's kind of a one-pot deal. And
it's a one-pot wonder.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna turn this off so that it doesn't cook anymore. And then I'm going to just get the vegetables. And we're going to layer this pan on top of the meat with our vegetables. Now, if you don't want to use a mixed vegetable, you can use pretty much whatever you want. You can use corn, peas, you know, if you don't want a whole variety.
I like to add beans to mine too.
Yeah, you could add anything you want, really. It's just kind of a layered casserole. And there we go. And
Want me to hold it and do it?
I think I'm okay.
Okay.
So then we're gonna just put our potatoes in on top. And we'll just spread them out evenly, and then we're gonna just pop it, put a little bit of salt and pepper on top, and then we're gonna just pop it into the oven. There we go. I don't use my right hand very well. Okay, so I would give this in the oven about 20 minutes, and then your shepherd's pie will be ready. So let's put the lid on. Not very well organized today. We'll put, let's just put a little bit of pepper and salt on the top. You can put any kind of garnish you want, really.
Chives look nice too.
Yeah.
There's some paprika.
For sure. Okay, let's put this in the oven. And just remember, if you do have this kind of a pot, when you're bringing it out of the oven, make sure that you have oven mitts, because 3 or 4 times now I've gone in and just pulled out the pan thinking that, oh. So we'll be back in about 20 minutes and we'll show you our end result.
Okay, so we're back. This is our finished product. This is our shepherd's pie. Now, Terry had mentioned previously about putting cheese on it. You can do it when it's in the oven. You can do it when it comes out. Just so many different ways, again, with this meal to mix things up like with the other ones we've done previously. You'll all be getting a copy of the recipe. And then just go in, take a scoop. Now, whether you like the brownie, the outside piece with crispier potato. So just take it, scoop it out, place it on the plate. Absolutely wonderful. You can see the different layers. When you go in here, you can see how everything's nice and layered, super tasty, steaming wonderfully. You can put, eat it as is. You can add barbecue sauce, ketchup, malt vinegar. Oddly, very, very tasty with shepherd's pie. A very British thing to do is to add your malt vinegar. But there it is. There you have it. There's our finished product. Have a good day, everybody.